Evidently, I'm live. Excuse me.
Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Gun. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?
Hey, I'm Dan Hollifield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. With me tonight, we got Cap here, and we are going to try and be entertaining for as long as we can. And if we can't manage that, we're going to go. You can kiss our ass goodbye because we'll go good night. And hey,
Had to
it's
throw a
just
burrito
one
in the
of those
microwave.
things. Um, I don't know. We might have a couple other people show up later. It doesn't matter. Um, well, it does matter because all those people are really, really valuable. Here's Chris, actually. So we've got a third problem child to add to the mix, and let me get off of the brand. And well, no, I think might have no, I don't have Joe Dog's infinite supply of smartass uh, video clips to play. So I did not load up this channel with a bunch of stuff, but we will continue as a commentary on this basis. So I don't know how we could possibly follow, as I usually say, I don't know how we could possibly follow tonight's stupid o'clock, but we're damn sure going to try. Now,
Well, what
is there
you were explaining a
anything?
fruit tree. What's that about? Run that by me again. I might know the answer. I just couldn't remember how you describe the plant.
Excuse me?
The plant you were asking about, the fruit tree.
From last show, that wasn't a scuppernong and wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Um, well, you have these wild grapes that grow along, usually pine trees because that's the only thing as old as they are. Now, you might have this 300-year-old pine tree with a 150-year-old uh, wild grape muscadine vine growing up. The vine might be coming out of the ground as big around as your leg, but as it goes up, it gets a bit thinner, bit thinner, bit thinner. Um,
What's the name of that tree? It starts
uh,
with a J. What is the name? I used to have one of these vines, and they were really good. What is the name of that damn thing? A Jabaricaba. Jabaricaba is the name of that tree. Jabaricaba.
okay, never heard of that before, but
It grows on pine trees, and it's grape-like in resemblance. It turns into a dark purple at maturity, but it is a grape-like fruit that
okay.
grows on pine trees. Yeah,
Awesome.
Sounds
Jabaricaba,
like
because I used to have one of those.
a different regional name for muscadines, scuppernongs, whatever. Same name, um, well, different name, same fruit. Um, but they, oh God, if we want to get rid of these pine trees before they fall over into the neighbor's yard, but we want to save the fruit vines,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to take an extremely careful um, landscaping crew to bucket lift their way up to the top of the pine tree and start trimming it out slowly without cutting off the muscadine vines. And then we would have to take the muscadine vines and put them across some rather sizable grape arbors, which we can do. It's it it'd be really easy to do. The thing is, you've got to remember, don't make them too high for the deer to come and eat some of the wild grapes, and but still have it high enough to where you can reach all of the muscadines, scuppernongs, wild grapes, whatever you want to call them, to go and make your own jelly and whatnot out of. Um, but mm, we came home from a convention that took place in Chattanooga one year, and there was a deer in the backyard around the muscadine vine, and I walked out in the backyard. That deer let me get within petting range before she turned and ran away, stumbled away, staggered away, because then we figured out she'd been eating the fermented muscadines, and she was drunk off her ass.
Mm,
It's seriously, there's no way I could walk up to a deer that close that wasn't drunk completely. Um, now, I I I prefer not to hunt. I have the skills, I have the ability. Um, I don't have the need. If civilization collapsed, yes, I could manage to make sure that Lindsay had all the wildlife protein that we needed to stay alive. But I'd rather take pictures of them than actually hunt them. But as I said, if worst came to worst, I have the skills, I have the equipment. I could do that. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't enjoy it. Uh, but a good barbecue sauce covers a multitude of sins.
mhm.
There's something else I just found too. It's called the frost grape, the riverbank grape, and the wild grape. Apparently, they thrive on pine trees as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Vitis riparia. Vitis riparia is the species name.
Let's see. Let me look up muscadines.
Put my screen up. I got it up for you already.
Okay, hang on just a second. All right, now let me get back here to you and go Capstar. There we
See?
go.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very similar. Yes, I would not be a bit surprised to find that they are related species.
Yeah, but I had one of these trees right here. Those are edible, and they're really, really sweet.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's really weird to see them growing along the trunk like that instead of
Well,
on.
that's the actual jaboticata or jaboticaba tree. It's Brazilian, but it thrives if the weather's right in the very southern half of the United States.
Okay, yeah.
Florida has a bunch of them, and that's where I knew it from. Is when I was a child in Florida, I used to pick them off the trees when they were that color right there. So,
Nice.
oh yeah, getting close. The rain's over at Winder now.
Oh yeah, that's like next door.
Yeah, did you see my camera flash in Stupid O'Clock? You probably missed it, but there's a window right here. There's a big bright lightning flash. It triggered my camera. My camera went.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to call it a night. I am wore out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Man,
I'm sorry.
You need that right there.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've been caffeinating. It's run its course. So y'all have fun.
It's not how many hours he's been awake. It's how many women keep chasing him.
Yeah, right.
No, I need a few.
I needed a good laugh, Dan. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, I'm not a member of the cult of Chris, but I am familiar with several members. Yeah.
No, I think
Oh,
its membership's only at 2.
And all you got to do is stop running, and you'll get tackled.
Probably.
Yeah, ain't no probably to it, dude. Well, get some
I wish
rest.
y'all a pleasant evening, and y'all have fun.
We're gonna try.
I think y'all succeed. I believe in you.
Hey, I win the contest for identifying the tree too.
Yeah,
Awesome.
really.
Good job. Kudos to you, Cap. All right, I'll see y'all later. Take care.
I kept thinking about it. All right, have a good one, bro.
All right, bye.
Good night, Chris. Yeah, let me pull us up both full screen here. No, I've got a Google search here that has photos of muscadines, but they're just basically wild grapes.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not anything special, except the fact that they have been growing in the northeast Georgia, southern Tennessee, in the Carolinas, and maybe even all the way up into Kentucky for several hundred years. And that, oh, just there's they taste like wild grapes. I mean, there's nothing else to say about them. They're wild grapes. They've got a thicker skin than domestic grapes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really got to eat them.
No, you basically you squeeze them till they pop open, and then you swallow the contents and spit out the seeds.
I'll be honest though, as a kid, I used to just eat the whole thing, and the combination of the internals of the muscadine, the sour of the internals plus the sweet of the shell made for a perfect taste.
Yes, and they actually do make a really intensely sweet wine.
Oh yeah, muscadine wine.
Oh yeah, that
What was
is
it? Who made that song, Muscadine Wine?
um I can't remember specifically, but I can think of about three people that actually included it, but um not gonna look it up. I mean seriously. Uh People will recognize that not only as a cultural thing, but the musical influence as well. And they will look it up themselves so
Mm,
that we don't have to. But
I already got it here. I know who it is now. Sorry, I'm smashing the mess out of this burrito. Warmed it up between shows.
oh, don't worry. Just before the show started, I had a huge salad, but I saved some of the lettuce for my sub sandwich for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We went out shopping yesterday, and I knew my wife was going to be off at the church nativity thing tonight, and
Mm.
she's not going to be in the mood for cooking anything. So salad tonight. I got a sub sandwich for tomorrow, and that will let her, go to church, do everything she got to do there. I will not go unfed, which it takes a worry off her mind. Here I am, 66 years old. She's still trying to take care of me, and I'm going, baby, just I'll eat when I'm hungry. I will not eat when I'm not hungry. Don't worry. And she's going, I'm going to worry. You need to eat. And I'm going, oh,
My
you've been
daughter does
hanging
that,
out
and
with my
she's only
mom
14.
entirely too long. Um, um,
Like I said, my daughter's 14, and she does that too. Hell, I'm 42. But she
yeah,
understands that. She understands that what her mother did is why she only has me right now. So she makes every bit of positivity out of that, and it turned out to be better than what we expected. So
well, not only is it,
it's not that I can't take care of myself. She just does it anyway. Like, no, I'm not going to lose you.
not only is it gratifying that she cares enough to take care of you,
Hmm.
but you have the satisfaction of knowing that when she falls in love, she's going to be able to take care of whoever it is that she falls in love with.
Hmm.
And they're going to be really, really happy together. And that's a
Yeah.
great thing. That is a great thing.
The other thing I know is I'm 6 foot. She's 5'11", and if we get to wrestling, she has my strength. So I fear any boy that crosses her in the wrong way. I'm be like, I don't even have to get the shovels or the guns out.
That's, that was like me worrying about my sister in high school. Uh, uh, my sister is impressively built from
Yeah, a
throwing hay
14-year-old
bales
that can
up
out
into
wrestle
a
her
truck
42-year-old daddy.
on a farm. And I mean,
Hmm.
I'm going, I pity the fool that messes with my sister because
Hmm.
she's just gonna pick him up by both shoulders and rip him in half and throw him over the back, and that's it. That's it. That's all she wrote. Um, no, and
I mean, she's got enough. I'm no light dude. I weigh 274. She can pick me up, and she's only 14. She'll bear hug me and vertically lift me up.
mm, I did
So
that a couple of times with my dad, and he's
she's
going,
literally
"If
got
you
like a
don't put me
foot.
down, you're gonna hurt me." And I'm
And the
going,
funny
"Okay,
thing
Daddy."
is, oh my God, you should see the photos of her classmates and everything. She has like an easy foot over everybody else in her class. And they all look at her like, do I fear you or do I befriend you? I'm like, just be yourself, Morgan. Do what you gotta do. If you need my help, I'm here. But I'm pretty sure you can handle yourself and these boys.
It really. What the only thing you got to be afraid of is some dude going, "Oh, challenge accepted. I can flirt with her."
Well, I look at that incident that just happened with me a couple weeks ago, and her. She beat the brakes off that boy, the one that jumped up and hook punched her from behind.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I'm thinking
She
about
beat
when
the
the
mess out of that boy.
I'm thinking about the boy that decides that this is my kind of woman. I really like her. How do I approach
I
her and be respectful and earn her respect and romance her? And I'm going, dude, you better have a great sense of humor and be able to run like mad. Because if you piss her off, you're going to be hurt.
Well, she's eyeballing this one boy who's a pitcher in baseball. So,
Oh yeah,
and I played baseball growing up, and I was a pitcher in baseball growing up in my city rec league. So I've met him twice now. He's definitely respectful. I mean, he even calls me yes sir, no sir, may I, can I. The dude's
yeah.
got his mannerisms and his chivalry in place, and
Hey,
I haven't
that
gotten to the
is an
point yet.
important thing
I
right
haven't
there.
gotten to the point yet where I said she can pick me up. So don't come to me if you cross her the wrong way because she will fuck you up, boy.
Well, no, that's
I'm waiting for the right moment when if because they're both going to the same high school from middle school. So I'm waiting for the moment if they get more involved. I'm gonna be like, look, I respect you, you respect me. I'm just gonna warn you, don't underestimate her.
that would be okay. You got to understand, I am many times a dad, and
Hmm.
I'm going, okay, this is second date warning. If he doesn't screw up the first one, you owe him the um, kid. Um, she didn't kill you the first time, so here's what I'm going to say: don't ever piss her off, cause she can pick me up. Imagine if you ever mistreat her, she will rip you in half and throw you
Hmm.
over her shoulders.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna
Now,
be like, look, if she can pick me up, imagine what she can do to you. You cross her the right way.
exactly. And if you get beyond the pale on that, you still have to face me.
Where are we broadcasting to right now? So I have an idea of the rule set.
Oh, Facebook, YouTube, and YouTube.
Okay, so Facebook. So I can't pick up behind me is the next thing he'll be facing.
Oh no, no, but it's all right. It's implied. I mean, I'm the believe me. I grew up on a farm. I know exactly what you got back there, and I've got about 12 of them. Um,
We got to meet sometime because mine are the spicy kind,
mm,
the ones that go mini pews,
oh, actually,
and then I have the ones that do the silent pews. Then I have
I've
the ones that do the big pews that'll reach you a mile out.
yeah. I have
I need to get
um.
that one back from my brother too. He won't give me back my Barrett.
Oh, I'd love a Barrett. I really would.
I picked
I
mine up. My
I
brother's
don't
the actual
I don't
FFL,
have
and I
any
didn't
I
trust to
don't
it.
have any use for it except to intimidate the local police, and they're already
Hey,
intimidated because
my
they know my dad. Um,
my people, my locals, they love me because I mean I have a whole bunch of them as friends. I have 2/3 of my local PD as personal numbers right here, up to
uh,
the chief.
you know,
They see me as a saint because it makes it less work for them.
well, they know me as somebody that's not going to cause trouble for them, but if trouble finds
Find you.
me, um, that's going to be some paperwork right there.
Hmm.
Um,
It's
and
kind of the same for me, but I'll give them the gratitude of I'll call them and I'll be like, yeah, trouble found me. Just send one coroner and one sergeant, and we'll be done.
yeah, really, make sure they've got 3 body bags. Um,
Oh shit! Excuse me.
no, now my biggest worry is protecting my wife
Yeah.
because we don't have any kids living in the house. Um,
Hmm.
all our kids are grown and on their own, and they're absolutely amazing people. But no, I taught my wife how to shoot. She's British. I taught my wife how to shoot. She's better
Hmm.
than me.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Come on now, he's the last man
She's
standing. You can't say that.
she's British, and she's a better shot than I am. Um, I told her I'm not buying her a red coat, um, but
No, God.
she gets the camo. That's it. That's it. No,
Well,
um,
I've been teaching Morgan with a little 22 LR rifle and a little 22 auto pistol, and she's getting pretty good. But I don't think she's ever going to top me. I'll show you
well,
if I can get my camera around. I'll show you this target sheet over here behind me. That's my one of my best ever shoots.
I've still got one somewhere from college when um target shooting was one of my PEs at the
Hmm.
um, at
I wish
the
they'd bring that back.
yeah. Well, Georgia's got that thing. Um,
The zero tolerance one. But do you remember how we used to
no,
have
no,
Daddy
no. I mean,
the rifle in the back of our trucks
they
in
got the
school?
ROTC target
Yeah.
range as part of the university. You can get that as a PE. You go in, you put on the flak
Well, that's the
vest,
college level. I'm talking about when we
and
were still in high school. Remember, we used to have Daddy's shotgun in the rack on the back of the truck.
oh yeah, yeah.
I
And
wish
it
they'd go
wasn't
back to
daddy's.
that.
It was mine. It wasn't daddy's
Well, that
because
was before
daddy
they
had
came
the
out with the
good one.
18-year-old. It was before they had the 18-year-old rule too.
And daddy had the Winchester 16, and I had the single shot.
Mm.
And oh, one of my childhood jobs was taking daddy's pumped 16 gauge out into the cornfields and going, okay, Crow, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. And
You're kitty for the crow.
yeah, really. Here, crow, 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 and going. We need to harvest this without y'all eating it. So, flash bang. Um, I did earn the respect of the crows. I walked out in the yard with the 16 gauge pump, and they go, you know, we'll go over to the neighbor's field where there's not a kid who's trigger happy with a freaking assault weapon. Um, and they
No,
did. They
assault
did.
weapon.
They left. They absolutely left. Now it didn't hurt that when we were growing grain in the front field in front of the house, the the dogs could go out there and kangaroo through the field and until they caught something. And believe it or not, the cats would bring back bigger rabbits than the dogs would and go,
them
"Hey,
dogs are them dogs will be
you're
sitting there
such a
wolfing at the
pitiful
cats like.
hunter. Here's a rabbit, and um, if you got some
And
barbecue
then here
sauce,
comes
we'd
the
love some.
and then
Here
here comes
comes
the cat.
here comes
Here
the
comes the
dog with a
cat
little
dragging
bitty
in them.
rabbit. Yeah,
And the dog's looking at the cat like, you motherfucker.
exactly. Now,
Now this
when
guy would do that.
yeah, yeah.
He's
I
a
mean,
Maine Coon. These Maine Coons are hunting cats.
oh yeah, yeah. Um, Now we had one.
I mean,
She said she sadly passed away now. We had
oh,
one when the coyotes would come up in the backyard outside the chain link fence, she'd just look at him and go, "Anytime you're ready, just jump. I'm hungry."
Yes, I kept this guy indoors though, so he's
Yeah.
never had the thrill to hunt yet, and he's too old for it now. I fear if I let him loose, he's gonna just panic and run off somewhere and not figure his way back.
Well, yeah, that is a worry. That is a worry. Um, Now there is so much. There is a such a thing as over domesticating a cat, but then
Yeah.
again, over domesticating a cat means you still have birds that will come and land in the bird bath and eat from the bird feeders and
Oh, you should.
run the
th-
squirrels off.
Yeah.
Um,
This window
but
over here that this guy likes to sit in, he almost broke one of the panes last year because this big fat lizard was up there. I'm upstairs and I keep hearing. I'm like, what the hell's going on downstairs in the man cave? He's beating on this window. I mean, literally beating on this
trying to
window,
claw his way through the glass.
trying to get that damn lizard. I was like, slam. He looks at me, what, asshole? Let me out for this lizard. He goes right back to beating on the window.
No, 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 no. Leave the lizard alone. We have rattlesnakes you can concentrate on. Um, oh
I don't,
Lord,
I haven't actually seen a rattlesnake because my area is, um, let me ask you this. Do you know where Loretta's Southern Country Kitchen is
no,
in
I
Hall
don't.
County?
Hall County. Yes, I know where Hall County is. Yes.
Okay, so you got an idea of where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's this place called Loretta's Southern Country Kitchen, and it's right there off of Mundy Mill Highway, which is 53. Right behind that is where I am, and somebody's probably gonna go look it up now. Who cares? Still got to figure out which house I'm in. And God forbid
Doesn't
you
matter.
try. God forbid you try. Anyways, our
Oh,
area we don't
for
have too many snakes. I mean, as far as the broadcast goes, I'm gonna be like, yeah, go ahead, come on, I'll send you
hey,
back home.
no, no. I've got my stuff. I've got my stuff set up. They can look me up anytime. They can even see where the machine gun nests are. Um, that was pointed out by a friend of mine. But no.
I mean,
Um,
even the neighbors won't hear it.
tick,
You see
tick,
how prepared
tick.
I am. This is sitting right next to me. This is
Oh,
right next to me. And if you
amateur.
cross up my driveway, I got 3 cameras with your face already. And guess what it's pulling? GCIC and NCIC. So I'll have a copy of your ID and your name right here on my server, which is right here at my left leg or right leg. And it'll pop up on this screen above this one. And it'll be like, oh, here you go. Here's who just drove up your driveway. Here's his plate. Here's his ID. Here's his name or she or whatever. And be like, okay, go ahead.
You really? No, no. I've got one, two, three, 7 within arm's reach at this moment,
Nice.
and one of them is a Tommy gun.
Oh, I definitely got to meet you now. Grab my 416 here in a second if you want.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. We don't want to frighten anybody.
That's
Um,
not awful. I mean, wait, it's Last Man Standing. It's Guy's channel. Guys talk about guns. Come on.
uh, people talk about anything, not just guys, but
Oh yeah,
girls,
like the
girls
senator
flirting with
staffer,
guys, guys flirting with girls.
like the senator
Um,
staffer at stupid o'clock.
oh Lord, any well, at this time of night, I would say anything goes, but then again, excuse me. You know, I'm not trying to get monetized. I don't care. Like, share, subscribe. That'd be fine. You know, the people that know us watch us. The people that don't know us will never watch us, and that's fine with me. damn it! Now I'm going to sneeze for about 30 minutes. Uh, oh Lord, should
Oh,
not
who
have
is
had
this?
that much pepper on my salad. Uh, no, I grew up a farm boy. Uh, Made enough money for 2.5 years of college by baling hay and plowing fields for some of the neighbors around here, and just
Mm-hmm.
doing piecework. And after college, after I ran out of money for college, I went to a local factory, and I was there from 1978 until now.
Nice.
I am 8 working days away from retirement. I got to work 4 days next week, 3 days the week after that, and 2 days in 2024. That's it. I put in my 46 years.
Now, what industry were you in again? I know you told me. I forgot.
Fiberglass insulation.
That's right. Oh, I may need to speak to you then because I got to get that patched up again, and that goes from the ceiling all the way down to the floor. Last year, when it froze really hard, I had gone out of town and I forgot to leave at least one faucet dripping.
Hmm. It happens.
Luckily, also my neighbor, because this is a townhouse, my joint neighbor on this wall behind me also had a pipe burst. And they couldn't tell whether it was here that was running water or it was their house that was running water. But my neighbor has one of those valve stems for the water
Yeah.
meter,
Yeah.
and he pulled up both meters and just went shunk, and then went over to his house shunk. So I come back home because Gainesville Water had called me and said a very high rate of water was detected. And I was like, oh shit. Because there's no way, unless a pipe bursts, you're going to get that kind of water flow rate at any
Exactly.
spigot in your house.
Exactly.
And they said it was a extreme rate. And so I came home, and my neighbor told me, no, we think it was our unit because once we turned off our unit, there was no more sound. And we never heard it coming from your unit. We just turned yours off because we didn't know at first whether it was ours or yours. And we didn't want to turn it back on until you were home.
Yeah.
So I come home. He gave me the tool. I turn it on. I come in the house and I hear
Yeah. It's both,
coming
wasn't it?
from right here. And this line that goes down this wall is my outdoor rear spigot.
Yeah.
So I shot back out the house, turned it back off. I said, all right, I'll call plumber. So we put a valve actually here now. There's a valve up at the ceiling where the line comes down, and it's insulated up there, so I don't have to worry about it. But the valve is now off unless I need that rear spigot. So the line's empty. But let's see if I can turn this thing. See how much of the wall I had to cut out?
Yeah.
It goes
Yeah.
all the way from there, all the way down to the floor.
Mm-hmm. Um.
And I need
Okay.
to put insulation back up in there too. Oh,
Okay. Wall insulation is one thing. Pipe insulation,
well,
go to Dollar.
it's got a foam sleeve around it, like a pool noodle.
Okay, that's
But
what I was going to say.
it's
Go
also
go to
empty. So
Dollar
the valve,
General, buy you a
yeah,
bunch of pool noodles, and
hmm
insulate the pipes, and then re-insulate the wall around the
yeah.
pool noodle. Yeah.
The thing about this wall is though, when I had this room built, this originally was the garage,
Okay. Yeah. It
and so
didn't get insulated as well as the rest of the house would
that
have
is
been.
actually a double wall now. There's the exterior wall, and because of some, I don't even know what it is. There's a pipe on the ground behind that wall, and then they laid the bricks on the foundation where it's brick, and then it goes to wooden drywall and outsiding, siding and everything. Well, at the bottom of the foundation, they added 2 extra rows of cinder bricks, and they're set in with concrete. And I was like, I am not cracking all this concrete. to make the wall one wall. So we had to build a gap about 1.5 feet wide,
Okay.
exterior wall, interior wall, and there's about a 16-inch gap between the two.
Okay. You're looking at
I just needed a single sheet just to run down between the studs
well,
because that's literally one stud's worth right there of that hole.
you might look into um R30 cathedral ceiling bats, which is 8.5 inches of compressed uh, thermal value R30, which is
Okay.
something you would put in the ceilings, in the roof, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
if you've got that kind of space in the wall, you can go ahead and put that around that plumbing. Just cut a slit, wrap it around the
Mm-hmm.
uh, bit that you've got the foam insulation around the pipe, and it'll be fantastic. Um,
Well, like I said, there's a valve in there now. I actually stuck a valve
yeah, but
all the way up here.
that's up in the ceiling area.
It's still accessible and it's off right now, and that line is completely dry unless I absolutely need it. But I put
Yeah,
the foam on it anyway.
but once you insulate the wall around the foam around the
And if I
pipe,
ever move out of this house, the other person's not going to know that. But I am going to stick a little
uh,
trap. I'm going to stick a little trap door up there too that says rear spigot valve.
yeah, you'll have to, just to be polite.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know exactly what the hell's going on, and go, hey, this thing froze once and we fixed it, and now
Here's
it's
how we fixed it.
insulated. It
And
shouldn't it
valve.
shouldn't fuck up again, but just in case, you can turn this valve off in the wintertime when you're not going to be
And then
sprinkling your lawn.
open the spigot, turn the valve off, let it run dry.
Yep,
No freeze problems.
exactly. Uh,
I want to shoot that Tommy gun now. You got to be focused on that damn Tommy gun.
mm,
I love me a Tommy gun.
it's a single shot.
Oh, it's a semi, so 45S.
It's a clone of an actual Tommy gun,
Ah,
and it was made by some guys that my dad used to work with at Oak
mm,
Ridge.
okay.
They had their own shop. They made their own parts, and it's from a little company that does not exist anymore because they were my dad's age, and
No.
it's unlikely that any of the three of them survive now.
Mm.
Um, Dad passed away a few years ago from complications from Alzheimer's, but his coworkers that did this, I had been in their shop and picked up pieces of the Tommy guns they were making, but they were only making semi-auto because they didn't want to get the license for full auto because
Yeah,
that
they didn't
was
have an FFL.
expensive.
Yeah,
That was
FFL.
expensive.
Yep,
So
FFL. Well, no, to manufacture is an FFL 7.
yep,
I'm in, so the way it works with me is my brother has his FFL 2. He's a dealer. So like if you buy something, you can call him and say, "Hey, I bought this. Will you transfer it for me?" You know how they do the
yeah,
purchase
yeah. I do.
transfers
I
and
do.
everything. That's what
I
he
have
does. He's
I
a
have
dealer.
several friends that are in that same.
Well, on
Um,
top of the FFL2 that he has, I'm listed as in trust to his permits because I'm a family member. On top of that, we also both have our O3 SOTs, suppressors and automatics,
oh,
NFA.
okay,
So that
yeah.
416 back there is an NFA weapon.
Now, it's
And
not
then right,
something. It's not something within my experience, but I do understand what you're talking about.
mm-hmm.
Um,
And yeah, it was expensive. My brother forked out like $6,000 for the permits.
yeah, you have to get the permits. That I mean, seriously, unless you want somebody really mad mad at you from one of the alphabet agencies, you've got to get the permit.
Oh yeah. Now I don't necessarily agree with everything the NFA and the ATF are doing, but I understand the reason for it.
Yeah. Um,
And all these people, this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. I understand why the NFA was created, but now all this overreach is starting to occur, and people are talking about abolish the NFA, abolish the ATF. You're literally going to run us right back to the 1920s with Al Capone, the Italian mobsters, and it's just going to
uh,
be bloodshed everywhere. And the biggest thing I don't like, yes, I have guns. Yes, I have actual assault weapons. The very definition of an assault weapon is a firearm that possesses multiple fire modes. It is not just a semi automatic weapon, it can fire in burst or automatic, full cyclic.
yeah. Try and
Problem
explain
I
that
have,
to some of the snowflakes.
exactly. It's buried deep in the NFA statute coding. You just have to find it, where it literally says there are two defining measures for an NFA registered weapon: barrel length and fire modes.
Yes.
The thing that peeves me the most is the way the rest of society looks at us. You glorify guns. You just want to shoot people. No, we don't. We actually fear being put into that position. I know
Exactly.
plenty of I know
Exactly.
cops that have literally broke down crying because they were forced into having to shoot somebody.
Exactly. If okay, my definition is if you think owning a firearm makes you 10 feet tall, John Wayne, and totally impervious to bullets,
Then you're a
you're an
fool.
idiot and you don't have the right to have a
Hmm.
firearm. If if the first little bitty 380 or 22 pistol that you bought makes you go, "Oh fuck, I can never lose my temper again in my life."
Hmm.
And you remember Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. With awesome power comes awesome responsibility. With absolute power
I didn't have
comes
those when I was given the
absolute
ultimatum.
responsibility.
I didn't
If
have
you
that.
are actually if you are actually going, "Oh my god,
Hmm.
I can't afford to ever go off on anybody ever again in fear that I will use this tool that I have bought for its
Hmm.
intended defense purpose as its unintended offense purpose," then yeah, you are responsible enough to actually be allowed to have one.
Hmm. Well, see, I didn't have the Peter Parker and all that definition. I had an ultimatum by my daddy, who's a Vietnam Combat Marine, 0311, designated rifleman. He says, when you become of age, I ever hear about you turning a weapon on somebody in haste, I will ask the man upstairs himself, put a bolt of lightning up your ass to reason with you.
Well, same damn thing, actually.
Hmm.
Um,
And then when
you,
he passed away in '07, it's like, that's all I think about is now he really is upstairs with the man upstairs. I fuck up, I'm getting a bolt of lightning up my ass.
exactly, exactly. And the thing is, it's not it's not a superpower. It's an
Mm-mm.
awesome responsibility.
Exactly.
And if you don't see it as
It's a last resort.
the absolute last resort, yeah. I grew up with my dad going, "Okay, when you're 3 years old, this is do not touch. When you're 5 years old, this is if you are with me or your uncle or your mom,
Hmm.
it is under supervision you may touch."
Mm-hmm.
And when you're older than that, do not ever think this is a toy.
Oh yeah. Matter of
This
fact,
this this is you will end a life if you play
my
with it.
yeah, my dad ran me through all the gun stuff.
Oh yeah.
Either you do it or you don't. It is a way of life. Power tools, spray bottles. I pick up anything with a trigger. This is a way of life now.
Mhm.
And people
Uh
laugh at me like it's a spray bottle, and I'm like, it's a trigger. And if you cannot learn that and bury it in your mentality for anything with a trigger, one day you're gonna fuck up.
yeah.
So
Um
it's like I got to every time. It's just automatic. Every time I pick something up with a trigger, automatic.
uh-huh. Yeah, there are a lot of people that
They don't understand it.
well they don't. And there are other people that go, "Oh, oh, oh, trigger warning, get your finger off that get your finger out of the." I'm
Keep your
going,
coochie digger off the bang bang switch, you dumb fuck.
excuse me, but if I'm going far enough to actually touch the bang switch, my intentions are to punch a hole in something,
Mm-hmm. You better be ready.
and yeah, something does not equal someone, but the
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 moral
possi
is,
the
the moral is,
possibility is there. The moral
hmm
is do not do that unless it is absolutely a life or death situation, and your life or the lives of someone you
I
love
mean,
and cherish is in the balance.
so even in this house, even if I absolutely know the weapon is unloaded, no,
No, no weapon is unloaded until you
y-
actually
verify.
unload it
Even if I
yourself.
know it's exactly, even when I know it's unloaded, no,
No,
keep your
no,
snuff picker off the goddamn bang bang button.
yeah, really. Um, that was the second lesson that Dad taught me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you do not assume it is unloaded until you
You clear it.
actually check
Yeah, so you
to
actually
make
clear it.
sure. And when you checked to make sure, you do not do something stupid like put the magazine back in and
Yeah.
rack the slide, because then it's loaded again and it is
Mhm.
highly
Oh, yeah,
dangerous.
we went through all that. I was, like, 6, 7 years old, and it just became
Yeah, yeah, about the same
every
age for
weekend,
me.
about 6, 7 years old for 3, 4 years, every weekend, every other weekend, then it slowed down a little bit, and then just came the magic day. "Okay, you wanna fire the gun out back? Fire the gun out back. But you fuck up, we're going through this all over again."
Hmm.
And
Yep.
that was about 12, 13 years old. And
Yeah.
I never had a
Uh,
problem with it. And as I grew older and older, and then we got further and further into more advanced, more powerful,
well,
it
the
just
thing
became a
is,
way of life.
you have to prove to the people that are responsible for you that
Hmm.
you can be responsible on your own and be trusted. And
Hmm.
then you have to continue making sure that everything's safe until it's time to either go hunting, and then you have to go through a whole different set of safety rules. Go, oh,
Hmm.
barbed wire fence, I gotta climb through this. Let's see, unload, make sure, climb through the fence, bring the shotgun or whatever with you, reload, proceed on that basis. Um, no, no. If safety training is not the earliest things that you receive, back off, wait, get the safety training.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter if that's part of your family heritage, like mine. If you do not get that family heritage, family training
Go
to
get it professionally.
yeah, if you were not lucky enough to be like me and had uh, World War I vet teach you how to shoot, World War II vet teach you how to shoot.
I had World War II. My
Yeah,
grandfathers, both Marines as well. So it was a combination of my Army uncle from the gun range. We had the big C4 incident, 24, 27 years Army. My father, 0311, with 2-4 in Vietnam. And both my grandfathers, one went to the Eastern Theater, one went to the Pacific Theater. Eastern Theater wound up being a gunner's mate on a Navy destroyer on a 5-inch gun. And the Pacific was with 111, 1st Marine Division, basic 0300 infantry. So I had 4 different people teaching me all at one time in
hmm
various stages of my life.
Well, I had not only my dad and my mom, who grew up as kids during World War I
Hmm.
and lived through the Great Depression, and then went through World War II. But my dad's uncle, who was in the army during World War I,
Mm.
and oh, believe me, I got I got more thorough training than Arlie Ermy would demand as far as
I
safety
met him
goes.
once. I
Oh,
met him once.
I'm
I miss
jealous.
that man.
I'm jealous.
I
Um,
miss that man.
but
He's definitely funny when he's not on the screen and not being serious about something. He's got a characterism to him that's not what you would
well, I
expect.
mean, he would have to be in order to do everything that he's done. He's got to not only have a sense of humor, but know when to switch it off and be serious.
Hmm.
And
Then of
that's the
course,
important thing there.
the other big thing I ever got to do was my father befriended a neighbor in the neighborhood as a kid, when I was a kid, and me and his son would go play a lot. And then he found out that his daddy was the PR garrison commander of Paris Island at the time,
Whoa,
Randy Gaddis.
that's an
Back in
awesome
the
responsibility right there.
yeah, I mean he was literally the public relations garrison commander of Paris Island. So all the public events, everything they ever did, tiger visits, graduations, all under him.
Yep.
And so when Dad found this out, he's like, "Oh shit!" And
Yeah.
so then, one year I got to experience being a Marine at 17, courtesy of Mr. Gaddis. I got to bugle fight the recruits. I got to square up with a drill instructor to see how it was because I was planning on enlisting. Um, and so Gaddis said, "You know what? I'm gonna do you a favor. Let's see if you really can cut it." So went out there, did drill, went to the rifle range, pistol range, CQB, hand to hand combat, bugle sticks, uh, the obs course, and I actually won in the bugle matches because I'm quite adamant with a bow staff in martial arts. So I already had the fundamentals of swinging that bugle stick in a way that'll fuck you up.
You really ought to get to know Nick Tockert, the guy that teaches the Historical Fencing Guild.
Mm,
He is amazing. He
yeah.
writes books that teach people how to use edge weapons um, for, you know, humanely harming people. Um,
Well, you beat somebody with a rosewood stick. That's not very humane when you leave a big old line crack down the side of their body.
well, then again, you got to say, did it take them out of the action for that particular time that they needed to be
I mean,
non-combatant?
I'd pick up any broomstick, any mop handle. You,
Oh,
you if I get into a fight and I get my hands on anything like that, anything that's 6 to 8 foot in length and is a perfect stick, you're done.
Well, no, my definition of a human being is any creature that can pick up anything in the environment and
Mm-hmm.
turn it into a weapon. Doesn't matter if it's a tree branch, a rock, a baseball bat, um, a trumpet, um,
Mm,
anything.
mm. The cat
There,
brush.
there was one guy I was in high school with that used to pick on me. I smacked him upside the head with my damn trumpet, and I carried that dented damn trumpet with pride because he never picked on my ass again. I'm going, hey,
You know, it's funny you bring
I'm tired
this.
of this. Don't don't keep calling my mama names. Bam. Um,
I mean, if we're going to go into that, I got another good one for you. This was 94, middle school. Me having Asperger's, and of course, because of the Asperger's, there's been a lot of extensive challenges getting the things that I do done, like being in trust to an FFL and an SOT. I mean, I had to go sit down in a one-to-one interview with somebody for that one. Um, anyways, 13 years old, 7th grade. There's this kid named Tony Bridges, and me being autistic, which is Asperger's, is an ASD. Um, I was literally the picking boy through most of the school years.
yes, I understand that one completely. I really do.
Well, one day I had particularly just about enough of all the bullying and the picking on, and it just happened to be this Tony Bridges kid.
It
And
happens. It happens. And the name is just totally random. Whichever guy that finally pushes you over the edge.
well, here's what pushed it over the edge. Tony was asthmatic, so he had to walk the track anytime in PE we were doing anything else that was physically exertive. Well, we had a sub coach that day. Our regular coach was out sick, and he was letting us play light tackle football out there on the field.
Okay. Yeah.
You know how us boys, we get out of hand, we play light touch
Yeah.
tackle football. It's going to wind up into somebody getting actually tackled.
Yeah. Somebody's going to get knocked over.
Yeah. So, of course, me being hyper little autistic me, I was the one that wound up getting out of control. And I literally did fly and accidentally full on tackle somebody. And we just went rolling across the grass and the argument started. So the coach says, "All right, go sit down, cool off." I go sit down. Tony walks up behind me on the track, walking his self, and he's like, "Oh, did you poor baby? He had to sit down because he got out of control." Like, Tony, shut the hell up and walk your asthmatic ass off somewhere. He turns around. "What'd you say to me?" And he reaches up and smacks me in the back of the head, right here. It wasn't even a punch. He just reached up, blah.
Yeah.
And in my head, about a 5 megaton nuclear bomb went off just in my head. Just
Yeah.
I jumped up, turned around, perfect right hook, and I hit him so hard it put him in a coma. Unfortunately, also because this nuclear detonation is still going off in my head, he flops over. I picked him up. Now, mind you, when I was younger, I was probably the smallest, thinnest kid you would ever see in the school. At
I have
13
been
years
in that
old,
situation.
I only weighed 71 pounds.
I'd be
That's too
lucky
thick.
if I made that much.
Yeah, I was too thick. Tony's about twice my size, but now I'm filled with adrenaline. It's all rushing through me. I literally snatched him up, lifeless, in a coma, turned him upside down into the metal bleachers. You know how the metal bleachers sound when you smack them with something?
I do.
And it was all head, all right here on the corner of the bleachers to the entire right side of his head, and the entire outdoor area. Oh,
Kabong.
everybody looks up, and Tony is just lifelessly slumping off the edge of these bleachers. Now all the other kids are like, "What the shit just happened? They're all charging me. And the coach is like, okay, I got to get in front of this. He pushes them all out the way. He charges me and just picks me up and clotheslines me into the grass away from Tony because I'm still now just wailing on him.
Uh-huh.
So
As you
now the
do.
coach tackles me, restrains me on the ground. The other coach that had the other class saw all this. He's immediately on the radio. Get the nurse out here. Get the principal out here. We have a serious incident going on. Principal comes running out. Nurse comes running out. Nurse is like, oh my God. She spots the indentation on the side of his head. And he's out cold. She even tried one of them little ammonia capsules. No response.
Yeah,
But
smelling salts, yeah.
He's still breathing. He still has a pulse, but he is completely cold. Now the other kids are still trying to gang up and beat on me. So they literally just said, all right, everybody inside right now or you all get suspended. You stay right here. He's pointing at me. Now we start hearing sirens. Nurse radioed back to the office and said, call 911. You get EMS out here and get the sheriff out here. Because this was county territory at this point for the middle school. And so sheriff's coming up. Medical's coming up. Sheriff says, all right, principal, you, coach, that coach, y'all go over here. We'll talk about this. Let the medical handle him. At this time, they look at Tony and they're like, what did you do? I said, well, he hit me in the back of the head. Now, for whatever reason, young me, I had big old waterfall, thick, grungy Nirvana-like hair. They were looking all through it and they're like, well, there's no mark. You said he hit you, but there's no mark that he hit you. I said, I'm telling you, he hit me. And my response was, I turned around and hook punched him. And yes, it got excessive, but he hit first. Sheriff says, oh, I'm sorry, son. We have to take this further because you damn near killed this kid. I'm literally listening to the radio. They're saying he is in a coma and he has a fracture in his head. Now, how did you do that? I said, well, I picked him up and slammed him head first in the bleachers. He says, all right, turn around, son. At this time, my father, when he went to Vietnam, he started smoking. He came back after 3 years of service, and then he wound up getting cancer in his throat. So he had the hole. So in light of that, everything he said sounded like this.
Yes.
So he was effectively on disability, no job. So he was basically a household husband. Mom did all the real work, brought all the income in. Dad took care of me and my brother and did all the cooking, all the house chores, while mom brought the big chunk of the money in. Dad's now arriving at the middle school because the school had called him. Dad's running up. Dad doesn't know what's going on, but as soon as Dad's coming up, they see the hooks getting put on me. So now Dad's in defensive mode. He runs up. What the hell are you doing? Why are you arresting my son? Somebody better fucking explain to me what the fuck is going on. Sheriff turns around. Now he's trying to engage my dad while trying to handle me at the same time. Principal runs up. Mr. Mykowski, stop. We'll explain this. Just stop. Another girl walks up with a coach, and the coach says, hey, y'all got to hear this. Her name was Sarah, and I'll never forget this girl. We're actually friends now on Facebook again. We've caught up with each other. Sarah walks up and says, no, Tony did hit him in the back of the head. I was right behind him when it happened. And my dad says, well, you got a witness now. That's self-defense. Sheriff says, sir, we're still trying to determine this. Principal says, well, we got cameras. How many schools did you know of back then that had cameras?
None.
Not too many.
In my experience, cameras hadn't been invented.
Well, for me, they were still those big ass cabinet
video cameras. Yeah.
Video cameras. Well, this is in the middle of Fayette County, so this is Rich Elita's territory of Fayette County. You know how Fayette County is down there by the airport. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, principal says, well, we got cameras and there's one looking right here. So sheriff says, "All right, Dad, you, principal, let's go." Principal walks in, isolates the camera, isolates the tape, rewinds it back. Sure enough, whop, right in the back of the head. Sheriff says, "I can't do anything now.
Self-defense,
Self-defense, excessive, but self-defense." Now,
excessive.
now, now Bridges,
Yeah.
now Bridges' parents are arriving. Both of them had to leave work for this, and as they're arriving, you could hear outside. They had to call Lifeline in for Tony. He was that far done. Now I regret it. As an adult now, I look back at it and I regret the things that
Yeah.
I did.
Well, I
I
do
didn't.
too. I do too.
At some point,
But
even I said, you know what? We're adults now. I want to find Tony because I want to apologize. I'm being the bigger man now. Years on later down, I realized I almost killed him for something that was just a petty dispute. Come to find out, apparently after that day, Tony went down a downward spiral. After he graduated from high school, he got with the wrong crowd, crime, drugs, and
it
eventually he OD'd
happens.
at some
It
point.
happens.
It does. And that made me feel bad. I was like, it, and that's when I reunited with Sarah. And I said, "Hey, what happened to Tony after that day?" She said, "You didn't know?" I was like, "No, I'm trying to find out because I want to be an adult and say, hey, look, I'm sorry about what happened that day." She says, "Well, he OD'd about 3 years ago." I was like, "What?" She said, "Yeah, he got really bad into drugs right out of high school, drinking, crime, drugs, been arrested multiple times, and about three." This was, I graduated 2000, and this was '06, so it was '03 that is when he met his demise. The moral of the story was, though, from that day forward, nobody bullied me.
No.
I even moved from one area of Fayette County to another, which sent me from one high school to another several years later. And
Reputation followed.
the reputation followed. Some of these other boys that were unaware of who I was started bullying on me, and a bunch of other kids ran up. "No, leave him alone. Don't pick on him." Why the hell not? A bunch of farm redneck boys that lived up on
I
North Fayette
know. I
County.
know. I grew up with them.
And they're like, "Why the hell not? You ever hear the story of Tony Bridges?" "Yeah, so fucking what? You're picking on the kid that did that to him." "Oh shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey,
Retribution is
hey,
coming if you don't back off.
hey, look, hey,
Yeah.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, little man. I didn't mean it. I'll never bother you again." Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that reputation followed. That went county-wide in a
Yep.
heartbeat.
Yeah, it does. About 2 generations older than you are.
Mhm.
And back in the day, if I had done that, it would have been some bitch was asking for it.
Mhm. I mean,
No harm, no foul.
that was the message going around was, "Look, y'all picked on him to the point he had had enough," and it literally just boiled over,
Yeah,
and it resulted in what resulted. So leave him alone, and
yeah.
it
If
didn't.
you
It
don't
didn't even.
want trouble, leave the
It didn't
some
even
bitch
take.
alone.
It didn't even take
Uh,
the schools to tell the kids. The kids got
the
the message
kids
around.
carried the message. Yeah.
All the friends started realizing, "Oh yeah, don't fuck with Andy. He may be weird. He may act stupid. Don't fuck with him though. He'll put
Mm,
you on fucking ice."
yeah.
And
Now, like I said,
mm,
I'm about 2 generations older, and
mhm.
back in that day, it would have been boys will be boys.
Well, we still had that in my day too.
And you know, oh, that guy's a football player. The guy they were picking on is in the band. He's a wimp. Um,
Right? That's what they all thought about me too.
and
Because
and
I played drums in the band for middle and high school. So I'd be sitting. That's a whole nother story. You'll like that one.
but
Oh, what is going on here?
the guy the main guy that used to pick on me wound up. We went to a high school reunion,
Reunions are
And
always fun.
oh no, he came up and he goes, "Oh, I haven't seen you in so long. I'm glad you're still with us. Thank you." And just gave me a big hug. And I'm going, okay, that axe has been buried, whether I want it to be or not. All right, let's proceed on this basis. And haven't seen him except at other high school reunions. And,
Hmm.
you know, I'm going, okay. Um, but he managed to find one of the girls that we were in school with that was um, um, not a cheerleader, but one of the girls in the band, and I had a fantastic life with her. And I'm going, great, great, great. This is awesome. Congratulations, both of you. I hope everything continues to keep going in your favor, and you know we don't have to hate each other anymore.
Hmm.
And from my point of view, that's one of those things that's going. You made my life hell. Why should I forgive you?
Yeah, right.
Oh, we both grew up since then. Okay, I forgive you. You don't hold any grudges against me for anything I did in
Excuse me.
retaliation. And thank you. I could have wound up in prison for some of the shit that I did to try and get the bullies off my ass.
Well, I was
Um,
lucky that day for me too.
yeah, I was lucky. I was lucky myself. Um, there were sharp, pointy things involved.
Oh,
Um, but I did, no pun intended, I did get my point across that I was not to be picked on anymore. Um,
or pointy, sharpy, flashy things will be used.
I'm going, "Mm, you
Hey,
asked,
do you remember the Hornet
you
Wars?
asked for it. You picked on me. I would not have bothered anybody anytime. I just want to I just want to live my life,
Mhm.
my rules, and unfortunately, you thought that meant I was a wimp.
Mm.
You found out differently,
You faffoed.
really. But, you know, I hey, bygones can be bygones. I
Right.
you know, uh, I'm I'm 30 years older now. I don't care. You're
Exactly. That's how I felt about Tony. I was like, hey,
yeah,
I'm in
you're
my
you're
I'm in my upper 20s now. Like, come on,
well,
I want to make amends. It
they
was
they
wrong. It still is wrong.
they were just another bully, and I had plenty. Believe me, I'd been thrown up against a brick wall a couple of times by people that
Mm.
were
Ever hung on a locker?
no, but
Swirlies?
no. This is always more direct. It's like girls like you, I hate you, and I'm going. I can't help that. I'm a nice guy. Um,
Oh, nice guys finish last.
no, nice guys get to finish. Not nice guys never get the girls. Um,
I can't tell in today's standards. Them girls be going after all the felons and criminals and bad boys.
well, that true, that too. But
Hey,
even
question.
yeah,
Do you remember Hornet Wars?
no, haven't
Stick
the
rubber
faintest.
band between your thumb and finger and fold a piece of paper and go, pow.
Oh yeah. Spitballs. Yeah.
No, not spitballs, hornets.
No. Same thing. Different generation, but same thing.
See if I get a piece of paper here. Yeah, we'd sit there and take a piece of paper, roll it in half, and then roll it up as tight as we could, and then fold it like this, and then stick it through a rubber band. Ow.
Now imagine that about 3 times smaller,
Mm-hmm.
about
If
the
I had a
size
post-it
of
note, I'd do it.
two half pencils.
I can't
You know,
use that.
regular number 2 pencils,
Uh-huh.
but soaked with spit
Well, I mean, we
until
used to
it
take our straws and mechanical pencils and gut them out and go,
yeah, until it was one paper mache dart.
ooh. I
Yeah.
think I remember hearing about those, but we would get automatically suspended if we had that.
Now there wasn't no suspension. The usually one of the football coaches would walk up and give you about 3 swats with a damn yardstick,
Oh shit.
and they were not playing. This was
You know, it was my
this was
dad.
not
My dad came after me one day with his frat paddle.
this was not I'm just going to tap you lightly. This is, oh, your dad's not here, but I'm going to fill in. Pow! Followed by 2 more pows at
There wasn't
least.
no switches in my life. There was frat paddle, fist and feet.
Oh, I grew up with switches, paddles, uh,
Oh.
even the bolo paddles that had holes drilled into them.
Well, his was his big old university 3 foot long paddle, frat
Uh
paddle,
huh.
1/2 inch thick oak wood from Akron U is what I got
Um,
disciplined with.
worse than that is when your grandmother sends you out to get a switch.
See, that wasn't in my life. There was
That
no
was
switches. There
that
was
was in
paddles, feet, and fists.
that was in my life. Granny sent you out to get a switch, and God help you if you came back with some wimpy little thing.
Then it would Granny go out and get it. I know the story.
Granny would go out and get the real deal.
I
And
gave you a chance, boy.
you really now stand still, or else you're gonna get worse. Um, Granny's discipline stayed with me for a long time. Um, I didn't. I
There you
did
go.
not act up.
Hornet.
That's about the right size. Now,
Now we would
the
hook. We would take a rubber band and we'd hook that thing in there like this and just go. That shit was just bullet over to somebody.
now imagine the same thing, but it's paperclip on the rubber band.
No, see, we didn't
A
do that.
a metal paperclip.
What got us in trouble? And this was ninth grade, and then it became a standing rule in every school in Fayette County. Some jackass took one of them brass box staples, and he filed it down on the concrete wall, and he stuck that shit like a
Yep,
needle out the
yep.
front of this thing, and then he took it and shot somebody with it. That shit,
And they bled.
no, it almost killed the kid because it went right through his jugular, like this right here.
Yep.
And from that day forward, Fayette County, if you got caught with anything looking like this and a rubber band on you, it was an automatic 2 week out of school suspension.
Yep. Um, um,
I don't have a rubber band. I'd shoot one.
hey, don't threaten my ass with a good time.
No, no,
Um,
no, no. Actually, hold on.
no, like I said, I was about 2 generations earlier than you, and
Here we go.
it was kind of the rules were you had to make us notice this. You couldn't just suck it up and deal
Here we
on
go.
your
This is
own.
what we did. This is what we did right here. We'd sit
Yep.
there and do this. It literally just hit the spare dresser and went doing and ricocheted back over my head. That's how fast these things would travel.
Yeah. And
We'd
they got
have
a
welts
little.
all over. We'd have welts all over our faces and necks and everything.
They had a little bit of horsepower. Now the other thing was upperclassmen turning their class rings around backwards and pap on the back of your head,
Mm-mm.
leaving a
Mm-mm.
welt.
Jesus.
Um,
Oh, those days.
I had one group of football players that thought, okay, he's a little guy, he's not going to fight back. We'll just throw him into the damn door of the library, the back door, the wooden door that's like 3 inches thick, solid as concrete.
Good God.
And I impacted the door, and I laid there for a minute, and they go, "Oh fuck! Did we do something serious? Is there going to be an ambulance?" And then I got up. I didn't say anything. I didn't look at them. I just got up, and they go, "Okay, we're gone. It's time for our next class. Bye bye." I mean, the fact that I survived what they threw me into, and then got back up again.
Yep.
They're
I'm still.
going, "Okay, some bitch is tougher than we are. Let's leave."
Okay,
Um,
bye.
yeah. Ah, Lord,
I'm still sitting here watching the weather. Lake Lanier is literally splitting the clouds.
it does. It does that.
Yeah, lake
It
effect
does
is
that.
is keeping this storm off of us. Well, it's on you. I'm looking at it. It's right there, all around that, around your area. But
Well,
as soon as it hits Winder, it disappears.
we have a geographical advantage here. For
Mm-hmm.
some reason, all the really bad storms coming from the southeast going
Mm-hmm. Northwest.
southwest going northeast.
Well, this one's actually the bands are
For
going northwest.
yeah, but what I'm saying is the ones that are coming at from the back of the house, somehow or another, geography just splits those and they go around us, which comes in handy when they have a tornado involved. Because the tornado goes, "Oh, I'm going to hit all your neighbors, but you're bulletproof. I'm sorry." I'm just going, I ain't sorry. My wife is in the bathroom in the tub with one of my motorcycle helmets on, and the dog and the cat, and she's worried. I'm sitting there going, if I lose internet, I'm going to be pissed. Um,
I actually lived through a tornado on my head, like the opening scene of the movie Twister.
I've done it several times in my
Yeah,
lifetime in different places.
I mean, blizzard of '93, flood of '94, the tornado of '84. Remember the tornado down there in Lagrange?
Hmm.
That one came right on top of us. That was the only real tornado I had ever been through. But I have lived through 3 ice storms, 9 major hurricanes, 2 blizzards, '87 and '93, one flood. We were at Boy Scout camp for the flood of '94. That was fun. Down there at Flint River Boy Scout camp, Camp Thunder.
Hmm.
Um, what else? Yeah, so much stuff that.
Oh, we had one guy at work that we were having a tornado warning.
Hmm.
Damn thing was coming straight at the factory,
Now, what
and he
factory
goes,
was that? Because I may know about that factory.
"It's in Athens, Georgia. I'm not gonna name the company. I
Okay.
I I will gladly do so after I retire, but I've still got 9 days left to work." Um, no, and this guy is going, "Wait a minute, we need to get everything shut down and go into the severe weather uh, shelters we got." And they're
Hmm.
going, "Oh no, we're not going to shut the line down." He goes, "Fuck this," and hits the big red button
No
and
shit.
shuts everything down. And everybody goes to the storm shelters. And he's a hero to us, but oh God, corporate did not. I mean, it's like, I realize you're French, but tornado. Do you understand what a tornado is? It's like a hurricane condensed down into just a little bitty thing that will fuck you up.
Hmm.
Um, Now, everybody went to the storm shelters. Everything was fine. The tornado passed very close by. Several trailer parks got destroyed, but not the
Hmm.
factory. But if it had gone over the factory, the entire building would have been gone. This guy
Hmm.
was a hero. He's going, I ain't playing this corporate bullshit. I'm shutting everything down. We're going to get everybody in the shelter. And he did it. Never got written up, but they were pissed
Yeah.
because, hey, we lost an hour's worth of production. I'm sitting there going, um, you also didn't have to hire 150, 200 more employees because of the ones that died. And you also didn't have to pay out insurance on the ones that would have died. And you're French, so I get that you don't really give a damn about human life. Um,
Always waving the white flag, right?
cheese eating surrender monkeys. Yeah, it's really weird. My wife's father was in D-Day.
Oh.
He he was parachute dropped from a glider
Hmm.
inside a three-man tank. The tank was parachute dropped and the guys were inside.
I didn't even know they did
Behind,
that back then.
yeah, yeah, they did. They did. It's one of the most horrifying things that's ever been done to anybody in my life. Um,
All I ever heard about, I'm pretty big on the history of World War II. All I ever knew about was rolling them up from the Navy's LTVs.
no, no, this he's British.
But what a tank
Brit,
though? I
British
didn't know we
terror.
had planes. I didn't know we had planes that could carry a tank back
Um,
then.
it was a teeny tiny thing, not much bigger than a Volkswagen.
Oh, that thing. Not the squirrel, but the one that was smaller than the four-wheeler squirrel.
It was a Hemel car, I do believe.
Okay. I never really looked into the Himmel cars. Okay, but that makes sense. All right. Continue.
And um, while they were on their way down, parachute dropping inside the freaking tank, their treads got tangled up with the lines from the parachute. So, under German fire on D Day, they had to jump out of the tank with their pocket knives and utility knives, whatever the big mo jumbo British utility knives were called. They had to cut all the shroud lines from the parachute so they could drive away.
Mm,
And this guy, the most soft spoken, gentlest guy you could ever, ever want to meet, just the
hmm.
nicest dude. He survived the Nazis blowing up two different tanks out from under him.
Hmm. Sorry, I had a light flickering.
There was one instance where he goes, "My favorite story is I love the Yanks. They didn't shoot me. The the Germans blew up his tank, and he's walking out of the flames. His uniform is on fire,
Damn.
and he walks into the arms of a U.S. platoon who wanted to shoot him because that particular British tank regiment wore black uniforms like the
Oh,
Nazis did.
oh, jeez.
And he's standing there. He's on fire. He's going, any of y'all have a cigarette, please? In this perfect, just absolutely smooth British accent. And they go, okay, ain't no Nazi ever been born that can pull that one off. He's British. Let's get him to a hospital unit. He's on fire. Let's put him out first. Oh, and here's a cigarette, Leslie. Um, oh my God, it happened again. I mean, his tank was getting bombed by Nazi fighter planes. He was asleep on the outside, and his mates inside the tank go, "You think we should wake Leslie and get him to come inside?" And they go, "Oh, why? If we die, at least he'll be asleep." I mean, he was the radio man,
Oh
and
God. Yep.
he also was the best at making tea. So you know, they they tried their damnedest to keep the guy that could make tea alive. Um, Fuck the radio. They wanted the tea. Um, you you can't be British and survive a war without having somebody to make a decent cuppa. Oh Lord! And then later on, he was an accountant for Standard Oil in
Mm,
South America. That's
nice.
where that's where my wife and her next oldest brother were born. And then
South Africa, huh?
no, South America,
Oh, South America.
Venezuela.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Caracas, Venezuela.
Mm.
And then when my wife was about 5 years old, they moved back to England, and she had to learn a language that was different from Spanish.
Portuguese?
No, she had to learn English as a second language.
Shit. Oh, yeah, that's
And
right. You did say English was second to
she's
her.
British. I mean, seriously, she's British, and she had to learn English as a second language.
Well, I mean, we have English and redneck and Ebonics, not proper English. So you come from
Yeah,
Britain.
yeah.
There's
Well,
even so many differences there that like English and English are literally two different subsets.
she married a U.S. Navy airman, and that was her second husband.
Mm,
Moved to the U.S., went to Florida, and then went out to New Mexico. And people in the church she goes to 2 miles down the road ask her if she had to have her passport to immigrate from New Mexico to Georgia. I'm going, um, uh, geography, did they teach it in your generation? They certainly did in mine. Um,
mm.
oh God. And they
Well, hey, we only got like 20 minutes left. I got to run into the bathroom,
go
and
right ahead, go right ahead.
well,
No
I'm saying
problem.
we've only got like 20 minutes left. Uh, and I'm actually about to fall out myself now too,
It
because I've
doesn't
been up
matter.
since eight this morning.
We can end it early, actually.
Yeah, no, this is me. I'm just proper about it. Like, hey, we only got so much time left. I got to hit the head, and I'm about to fall out. So,
Hey, if you want to take your leave, that's fine. I can play the bedtime story and end the entire show. It's no big deal.
All right.
People will
Yeah.
be surprised, but
Eh,
it's no big
well,
deal.
I just don't want to start
Um,
getting incoherent because when I start to
I've
fall
been
asleep, I start
incoherent my entire life. Shut up. Go, go take a piss.
well, Diane, I will holler at you. I will hopefully be around next week on the days, and
Hmm.
we shall try to continue this
Well,
if we can both remember it.
it's recorded. Somebody's taking notes.
Well, so then I will say goodbye to the fans. I will say good night to you, and we will catch up.
Good night, and
Good night,
thank you
sir.
for being here.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
You don't have to call me sir. I'm just a working guy. That was an awful lot of fun. That was really an awful lot of fun. I'm sorry that more people were not here to enjoy it and take part, but some nights are like that. Um, these things they happen. Now, I don't have an awful lot left to say. Um, go look up my books. Go look up my records. Go look up, whatever. Buy what interests you. If nothing interests you, I'm sorry. I will do my best to interest you in another time. Um, I'm not about to give up writing words or music, so rest assured, sooner or later you're going to find something I've done that strikes your fancy, uh, in a good way. Because fancy always complains if you don't strike her in a good way. Um, and now we're hearing Twilight Zone music. No, no. We are not about to go to the other dimension. But I hope that anybody that watches this later is having as much fun with it as I have done this evening. If not, I apologize. I will do better next time. And please don't blame my guests because they are who they are. And if it's not your cup of tea, don't worry about it. There's no reason to complain. Everything can't be a complete story all the time. Sometimes you only get story fragments, and those can be very satisfying as well. Ultra short shorts, um, not the ones on the cheerleaders. That's not what I meant. But those are really cool. Um, some of those girls. Help me through puberty without even knowing it. Um, ah, not the green room, not the green room, not the green room. But for me, if you know me, it's very hard to differentiate between entertainment on a public channel and my smartass repartee in a non-recorded channel where it's basically just a party amongst friends, which is the green room. If you would like to get in on that, I would recommend sending a request to Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group, which is where the green room Friday night parties come in. They are not recorded. They are not supervised. Um, you've got a 50-50 chance of it being a bunch of people making jokes all night long and someone needing advice from their peers and us just going, cut the bullshit. Somebody needs serious help. So let's do this. Uh, I can't define the green room any other way, actually. I wish I could, but it is equal parts no holds barred humor, and you better not get offended, or hey, somebody needs help, so we're here. It's very much Spider Robinson's Callahan's Cross Time Saloon situation. If you need someone to help you through a difficult situation, that's what we're there for. If you need to just have fun and make jokes and just chat, that's what we're there for. Um, I can't do that here because this is recorded and I am somewhat responsible for the content, whether it is adult or near adult, or I wouldn't have gone there. But, these things that happen. Usually everything is here is not much more adult than like PG-13. Same for Stupid O'Clock. We try and keep things below the threshold of being objectionable while within the threshold of being, hey, this is funny. So we walk that tight line, that tightrope, all the time in this show and that show. Now, you know, it's not always everyone's cup of tea. It really isn't. Sometimes we're a bit too smartass for our own good. This show or Stupid O'Clock can be either, but it's still, as I said, PG-13. You would you really wouldn't want your mom watching it. I don't want my mom watching it because I I'm 66 years old, and if my mom decides I need a whooping, I'm going to stand there and take it because mom knows best. Really, she's just trying to get me to behave um, as a civilized person would. Then again, if my mom watched this, she'd probably help us with laughter the entire way through, which would be a good thing for me. That means I wouldn't get a spanking and break my record of never having gotten spanked for anything I didn't fucking deserve. Um, there's a lot of things that I did wrong in my life, and I got punished. There are several things I did wrong in my life that I didn't get caught and got away with temporarily. Sooner or later, I'll pay for it. Not yet, but sooner or later, it'll come to light and I will get punished. That's, not by the um, not by the police or the law or whatever you want to call them. Just I have to stay within the boundaries of common sense and good manners that my peer group has set. Now, those can be rather loosely interpreted, but not tragically loosely interpreted. If you can understand the difference, I don't know if I explain myself well enough, but there's a difference between, hey, this is good humor, and hey, this is borderline not nice. We stay on the good side of the borderline not nice. No matter here, even in the green room and stupid o'clock, we stay on the nice side of the borderline not nice. And sometimes that's hard work because we are all smartasses, and there's never any indication as to what we might divulge at any particularly given instance. All right, now it's 9 minutes till the end of the show. I don't know that I have 9 minutes left to monologue, which is not a bad thing. I mean, seriously. I admit I'm a bit long-winded. I'm not the most interesting guy in the world to carry on a conversation with, but you should read what I write because that is interesting. So go look me up at all the places that you would love to buy books from. Um, there are several out there now. There will be more soon. Um, it's something I have fun doing, even though it's hard work. And don't let anybody fool you. Writing is always hard work because not only do you have to come up with an entertaining story, you got to make sure that all the punctuation is right, all the wordage is the correct tense, not, you know, something complicated, but it all has to fit. It all has to tell a coherent story. And it, above all, it has to keep the reader's interest from start to finish. These are not easy things to do for all people. It's not easy things for me to do because I write something. I know what the backstory is, but I don't have to tell the reader what the backstory is. I know what the future history is, but I really shouldn't tell the reader what the future history is. It's just these are stories. They're adventurous. They're sometimes humorous, and they are sometimes deadly serious, which is weird because I rarely can summon up the energy to do deadly serious, but that's life. That is exactly what we're up against every single day that we can draw breath. Sometimes, even when we need it the least, life can turn into one of those situations where humor is not welcome and concern for other people going through immensely complicated and what's the next word? Um, complicated and nearly tragic things, if not tragic, because sometimes they do turn tragic. But that's what friends are for. We help each other get through stuff, the difficult times, the really easy and fun times, and everything in between. If you're watching this, trying to figure out whether or not something I wrote is worth your while, um, what can I say? I write the way I talk, but I have lots of different accents and characters up here. Doesn't mean that I am going to win any comic challenges. It just means, hey, sometimes I can crack a joke while I'm writing something, but mostly it means adventure stories are my stock in trade. Um, there are lots of stuff in the works. Um, there's a Spaceport Bar Book 2 I have to finish writing. I've already started. I've got to get the pronunciation guide ready for the narrator that gets chosen to do the audiobook of the Spaceport Bar Stories, Volume 1. Now, with all the aliens that I've put in the Spaceport Bar stuff, you'd think that cluing a narrator in would be an awesome amount of work. It isn't really, because I had the foresight to pretty much spell all the alien names phonetically. So each syllable stands out exactly. This works. Um, still going to go through and do pronunciation guide to the tricky ones, but you know, whoever it is that gets the job of turning my prose into an audiobook, you have got my respect automatically because I couldn't do that. I really couldn't. I don't have the patience. I might have the programs necessary, but I do not have the patience to explain how this alien's name is pronounced this way, while another alien of the same species is pronounced this other way. Um, that's just one of those things where you write this stuff and you have no idea that it will ever be an audiobook. So you proceed on the basis of this is a good adventure and this is a great character. Their name just happens to be relatively unpronounceable by human lips. So this is one of the handicaps that I get strung up by. I've got to do this. I'm. It's almost as intimidating as waiting on my first retirement check. Um, I know I did everything right. It's just how can I communicate all of that to not only the person that's going to be reading the stories, but the people that are going to be listening to the narrator read the stories. That's an awesome responsibility. It's not lightly undertaken, but my stuff, got to do it. Let's see, what do we got here? We're already at the limit, so I'm going to go ahead and play the bedtime story and end the show. And I will reluctantly bid you good night, reluctantly, because it's so much fun spending time with y'all, even if it is secondhand through viewer comments days later. Anybody that was watching us live, thank you very much. Anybody that will watch us later on, thank you very much. And go good, guys.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.